At high noon on a crisp October day, the welding torch in my hand hissed one last time as I laid the final bead along the main crossbeam of the bridge I had been building for 2 weeks. Sparks cascaded like golden rain onto the creek bank below, each one a tiny testament to 30 years of knowing steel inside out. The structure was 5 meters long, 3 meters wide, a sturdy steel frame with a concrete deck, spanning the same creek my grandfather had fished in back when this land was wilderness and the nearest neighbor was a mile away. The old wooden bridge had finally surrendered to rot and last month's flash flood, leaving me with a 10-minute detour twice a day on my own property. 10 minutes is nothing until you multiply it by 72 years of family history. I killed the torch, lifted my mask, and wiped sweat from my brow with the sleeve of a flannel shirt that had seen better decades. That was when I heard the car doors slam, 3 of them in quick succession, like shots from a starter pistol. "You built what on my property?" The voice sliced through the quiet like a bandsaw through pine. I turned slowly, letting the mask dangle from one hand. A woman in a navy blazer stood at the edge of my work site, arms folded so tight her knuckles blanched. Her hair was pulled back in a bun severe enough to serve as a structural support. Behind her, 2 security guards in polyester uniforms shifted their weight, looking as if they had drawn the short straw for this particular assignment. I did not know her name yet, but I would learn it soon enough. Evelyn Hargrove, president of the Willow Glen Homeowners Association. I set the torch down on the gravel with deliberate care. My bridge. My creek. My land since 1952. She did not blink. This access road and crossing are now designated common area under Amendment 2023. You owe $250 in annual maintenance, plus a $1,500 construction penalty. She produced a document from a leather folder, crisp letterhead, dense legalese that looked official if you did not read closely. I scanned it. No notary seal, no county filing stamp, no recording number. Just words printed to intimidate. I asked for proof my deed had changed. She said that was not how it worked. I told her that was exactly how it worked. The guards shifted again, one clearing his throat, the other studying the clouds as if they held the weather report for the apocalypse. Evelyn issued a formal notice, folded it with a snap, and handed it over the half-finished railing. Her smile never reached her eyes. Payment arrangements can be discussed at my office. Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. Then she turned on a heel that could have drilled for oil and walked back to her sedan. The guards followed like reluctant ducklings. I stood holding the paper in gloved hands, watching dust settle on the road my grandfather had cut with a borrowed dozer and sheer stubbornness. The notice felt heavier than the steel I had just welded. That night, I opened the old filing cabinet in the mudroom, the one with the warped drawer that sticks in humid weather. The manila envelope inside was soft with age. I spread the 1952 deed across the kitchen table under the single bulb that swings when the wind rattles the house. Boundaries clear as creek water. Private road easement from Lot 47 to County Road 12, maintained by owner. Notarized, recorded, indisputable. I made copies on the ancient printer that coughs like an old smoker. I called my daughter Lauren, civil rights attorney in Denver, sharp as the torque wrench I keep for stubborn bolts. I sent photos of the notice, the deed, the bridge mid-construction. She told me to sit tight, not to sign anything, not to cut anything. She would dig. Her voice had that edge I remembered from law school finals, the one that said she was already 3 moves ahead. I did not sleep well. Not from worry, exactly. I have welded in blizzards, rebuilt engines at midnight, buried a wife and a dog, and still got up at dawn. But there was something about the way Evelyn had looked at my bridge, at my land, like it was already hers and I was just a tenant who had not yet received the eviction notice. That look kept me awake, staring at the ceiling beams my grandfather had hewed by hand. Around midnight, I walked out to the bridge under a near full moon. The steel glowed silver, shadows long and clean. I ran a callous thumb along a fresh weld, feeling the smooth bead where 2 pieces of metal had become one. Good work. Honest work. The kind that lasts. Then I saw the flashlight beams dancing near the bank, 2 figures with clipboards, the same guards from earlier, photographing my welds from every angle. I stayed in the shadow of a cottonwood, noted time, vehicle description, what they measured. I went inside, added it to the file, and slept like a man who knows the game has rules, and he still holds the rulebook. 6 a.m. The next morning, metal scraped metal loud enough to wake the dead. I stepped outside in boots and yesterday's jeans. A steel security gate, 8 feet high with spikes sharp enough to impale a careless thought, now blocked my road 20 yards from the bridge. Fresh concrete at the bases still glistened like wet sin. A sign read, HOA property, no trespassing, violators prosecuted. Evelyn's black sedan idled on the far side. She stepped out in charcoal gray, smile thin as baling wire. "Morning, Mr. Harlan. Pay the fees, get your access code." I walked to the gate, boots crunching gravel that had known my tread for 54 years. "This is 30 feet inside my recorded easement. Remove it. Submit to the board next week. Until then, the gate stays." The younger guard avoided my eyes. The older one muttered, "Just doing what we're told." I told him to ask who had the right to tell him. They left. I called Lauren. She inhaled sharp enough to cut glass. "Do not cut it. Photograph everything. I'm on my way." She arrived at noon with file boxes, a laptop, and the focused calm of a surgeon. We spread documents across the kitchen table, deed, survey, easement, the amendment. She read it twice, eyes narrowing. No seal, no stamp, no filing number. Worthless. She pulled county records on her screen. HOA Incorporation Map, 2018. Your Lot 47 explicitly excluded. She tapped another file. Their finances are bleeding. Deficits for 2 years. This is a revenue grab dressed in legal drag. We filed an emergency injunction that afternoon. Gate removal, restraining order against interference. The hearing was set for 2 weeks. Evelyn countered with a social media blitz. Photos of my bridge from low angles made it look like a drunk giraffe on stilts. Caption, unauthorized structure endangers community. Comments exploded. Some neighbors I had known for decades liked and shared. One wrote, rules keep us civilized. Another, about time someone stood up to these old coots. Lauren said, do not engage online. Let facts speak in court. The emergency HOA meeting came Thursday. The community center smelled of burnt coffee and fluorescent fear. 60 people in folding chairs. Evelyn at the front with slides. She called my bridge a liability, flashed the amendment, demanded cooperation. I stood when she opened the floor. Private land, county-approved plans, documented easement. Show the recorded amendment. She smiled like a shark in lipstick. Internal governance does not require county filing. I asked for the vote record. She moved on. The room sided with her. I left feeling eyes on my back, the weight of being cast as the village crank. That night an older woman's voice shook on my phone. Margaret Ellison, former treasurer. I have records. She forced me out when I questioned payments. Meet me tomorrow, out of town. We met at a diner 30 miles away. She slid a USB drive across the table. Emails, ledgers, minutes. $50,000 to a security firm owned by Evelyn's husband. Fines marked collected that never were. The amendment passed in a meeting with no quorum. Lauren built a 200-page brief. We added 3 other landowners with similar shakedowns. The preliminary hearing packed the courthouse. Evelyn's new attorney painted good faith. Lauren projected the emails. Ideal test case. Unlikely to mount opposition. The judge's eyes narrowed. Financials followed. Ghost contracts, altered minutes. Evelyn took the stand, voice cracking. Errors in judgment. The judge cut in. Systematic fraud. Injunction granted. Gate down in 48 hours. Audit ordered. DA referral. The full hearing a week later was standing room only. The auditor testified to 90,000 in questionable transactions. Evelyn's apology rang hollow. The judge ruled. Gate illegal, 5,000 damages. HOA restructure, criminal probe. 6 months later, 50,000 fine, 2 years probation, lifetime HOA ban. The gate came down on a Monday. I filled the holes myself, tamped dirt, seeded grass. Margaret brought water, helped spread seed. Should have spoken sooner. I told her she spoke when it counted. Spring arrived. The new board installed transparent books, voluntary dues. I welded a simple steel sign at the road's edge. Harlan's Crossing since 1952. Lauren helped set it in concrete. We stood back as sunset caught the letters. Grandpa would approve, she said. I felt the weight lift. The bridge stood solid, the road open, the creek running free. Justice is not loud. It is the quiet click of a torch finishing a perfect weld, the hush of water under steel, the knowledge that what is yours stays yours when you refuse to yield. What about you? Ever had someone try to redraw your boundaries with ink and intimidation? Did you fight, fold, or find a third path? Drop your story below. Where do you stand when authority overreaches and truth is on the line? Speak up. The next bridge might be yours to build.